Hey, I'm back in the studio, and I came back from Social Fresh with so many awesome interviews that we decided that we would bring you each interview one at a time. So they continue right now. Enjoy.
My name is Jason Miller. I run global content for LinkedIn Marketing Solutions.
So let's talk about visual content. What is it? Why is it important?
It's a great question, and it's why I'm here at Social Fresh, is to talk about the power of visual content, right? And I think in this day and age, the attention economy, we need to catch people's attention very quickly. So David Ogilvy famously said years ago, the original Mad Men famously said, once you've written your headline, you spent 80 cents of your dollar. Well, I say the same is true now when you choose the visual to represent your content, especially in the mobile environment when people are scanning, they want something quick. I think Michael Brenner wrote a really great blog post about the attention span of the internet users, and I think this new report came out and said that the attention span of the average US internet user was 8 seconds, which is insane to me, right? And then they compared it to the attention span of a goldfish, which is 9 seconds, right? So, and how do you capture that attention? I think visual is great for grabbing attention very quickly in the feed. We've seen engagement go up like almost 90% in the LinkedIn feed by adding a very compelling image to your sponsored update or your company update. And again, I think people say that infographics are dead, and I think that's insane as well. I mean, poorly designed infographics have always been dead, but if you design an infographic to tell a story in a very quick and simple way, or to take a complex problem and put it out there. I mean, when I was at Marketo, I had to explain marketing automation. Man, that's not sexy at all. Right. But we figured out a way to tell the story in a fun, compelling way through infographics. And then, infographics used in press releases are great. Infographics to put together a fun idea. We did. Kittens versus bacon. We did the blogging food groups, just to get some awareness, but really make something fun that's easy to share. It's viral. Get you some link backs. Seed your influencers and just get some attention.
I have to also give credit where credit's due to LinkedIn. You acquired SlideShare, very visual content, and now Newsly. So you've got the person's photo with their content in there. So it's just the proliferation of really relevant content that's useful to the person on LinkedIn that's also visually compelling.
Absolutely. I think I've always said this. I think that there's a time and place for text, but right now I think with these short attention spans and the feed and just having visual it should be I don't think it's going to save anybody's content strategy, but it should certainly be a major factor in when you're developing that.
So, Jason, I want to talk about, I was looking around, I don't see a rock anywhere, but I think there's this thing called a content rock.
Yes.
That I know you like to talk about. Let's hear about that.
Well, it's something that we came up with when I was at Marketo. It's called the Big Rock content, a Big Rock piece of content. And what that is it's basically a substantial ebook, if you will, written on at Marketo we call them definitive guides. At LinkedIn we have the Sophisticated Marketer's Guide to LinkedIn. But it's a very substantial kind of stake in the ground piece of content, like the definitive guide to whatever problem you solve for your customers or whatever service you offer. When I came to LinkedIn, there was we didn't have a whole lot of content around marketing on LinkedIn, which surprisingly, we had some, but it was written very product oriented. So the idea was to write something with some third-party input, very well designed. Excuse me, just a strategic guide to marketing on LinkedIn. Not very salesy at all, very top of funnel, very Jay Baer utility. Help somebody build that relationship early on. But the Big Rock piece of content is the substantial guide. It could be 30, it could be 40, it could be 50 pages long, whatever. But then that is also, it's gated, and then it's repurposed into smaller turkey slices, as we call them, from Rebecca Leib's analogy of what do you do with the turkey after Thanksgiving. You slice and dice this thing and make all kinds of things out of it. Well, we think of doing the same thing with your Big Rock piece of content. So out of this Big Rock piece of content, we'll get 10 blogs, 2 infographics, 2 SlideShare decks, 2 webinars, enough out of this Big Rock piece of content to fuel social and demand for an entire quarter. and you focus in on one keyword or one keyword phrase or one question.
And now you're showing up on page 1 in
Yeah.
Google search.
And then you have all these tentacles out there. So, I mean, you're covering your bases. And again, it's not more content, but it's more relevant content because it's all focused around what your business or your, your
And it
company
ties
really
right
does.
into the whole visual concept. I mean, the visual of a big rock content, I mean, that's as visual as it gets.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I think all these pieces you can pull out of this. I mean, it's a full-on campaign. Excuse me. And then it's scalable as well, which I love about this is, you got 4 quarters in a year. You need content to fuel your social and demand gen. So you pick out either a question or a keyword query, and you go after it. And then between PR, between demand gen, between native advertising, LinkedIn, of course. You drive this demand, you pull people in, you're solving their problems, you're helping them out, very top of funnel, you get them in, and you start to build that relationship. But again, it's scalable, and it works. And I'll tell you what, we've seen up to, not to put exact numbers, but up to like 21,000 ROI on these big rock pieces of content. Just sourcing source bookings from these things. That's how substantial they are.
Fantastic. Jason Miller, LinkedIn, love what you're doing. Keep up the great work.
Bernie, thanks for having me, man.
Thank you.
All right.